The average time for the player to recognize what is happening in the current state of the game and react to it is about 240 milliseconds, with the slower reaction times averaging at around 500 milliseconds. Of course, there are many factors influencing this, but in general, it's an important notion to understand when we're designing games, especially those that are based on precision. You have to implement mechanics that provide room for forgiveness of small mistakes. The most known such mechanic is the coyote jump in platformers, which allows characters to technically jump from thin air to take reaction times into account. Of course, that's not the only forgiveness mechanic that exists, so let's take a look at a couple more on example of Alto's Odyssey. In Alto's Odyssey, you'll be doing a lot of backflips, and landing those successfully is a very important skill. That said, the game's terrain is always very varied and procedurally generated, so a lot of times players can't know in advance at what angle they need to land exactly with enough precise time to adapt. So the game doesn't need your board to be fully parallel to land successfully. There are certain angle limits at which the board will snap to the ground without crashing, and these limits are not large, but they're still important for a more comfortable experience. One other thing you'll be doing a lot in Alto is smashing rocks after boosting. The boost is signified by a force field effect in front of the character. What happens though if the shield disappears right next to a rock? Without any forgiveness mechanic, the players would crash, as even if they did react fast enough, the character's jump might not have been. Which is why there is a little grace period after the force field's disappearance that still makes the player character successfully smash the rock. Again, it's a very little one, but just enough to not feel frustrated in very unlucky circumstances. There are more forgiveness and grace mechanics that you can find in both Alto's Adventure and Alto's Odyssey, although they are related more to different edge cases. The ones mentioned in this video are the most important forgiveness mechanics of these games that remove unneeded frustrations, thus helping to form a very tight gameplay experience.